GoGriffins.com, powered by United Consumers Credit Union. We serve Missouri Western alumni and students. Come see us with your banking needs. Griffon Sports Insider is presented by Mosaic Life Care. Hello and welcome. GSI back at you. Griffon Hoops tips off the home slate this week. More on that in a bit. But we begin with the end of football season. Brett Easley.
It's like basketball weather outside right now, but the Griffons closed out shop on the football field in 2014 this past weekend, finishing with a 7-4 record after a wild come-from-behind victory at old rival Missouri Southern.
Here's the highlights. Week 11 takes us to Joplin, Missouri. Griffon football trying to wrap up its season with a win over Missouri Southern. You know, crazy things always seem to happen in Joplin. This game was no different. We start the scoring off with the bang. John Schmiemeyer, 55-yard field goal. It's a low-line drive and money. Griff's up 3-0 early first quarter. But the Lions have an answer. They run that nearly extinct triple option offense. It's given the Griffons fits over the years. Michael Nelson off the pitch, 20-yard touchdown run. Southern takes a 7-3 lead after one quarter. It would stay that way until just before the half. Southern back to punt, but Meshach Kennedy gets the big hands on it, the big block. Griffons use short yardage and take advantage. Freshman quarterback Skylar Windmiller hooks up with D. Tolliver in the corner of the end zone. Tolliver, 4 catches, 70 yards in this touchdown. Griffons reclaim the lead. They're up 10-7 at halftime. Third quarter, Western using the offense as its defense. A drive that started at the 8-yard line. A march led by Windmiller, who has gotten better every week. He orchestrates a 17-play, 92-yard drive that eats more than 6 minutes of clock. It's finished off by Raphael Spencer. Goes airborne for the touchdown. Griffons now up 16-7 after a botched PAT. Southern would cut the lead to 2 with a touchdown in the fourth. And then this one gets crazy like we talked about. Griffons on the ensuing drive. Spencer carrying the ball, but he fumbles it. Southern recovers deep into Western territory. A couple plays later, the Lions are in the end zone. This touchdown changes everything. Western finds itself down 21-16 with just over 6 minutes to play, but the Griffons answer again in short time with another monster march downfield. 10 plays, 91 yards in just 3 minutes. And in the red zone, Windmiller is going to hook up with sophomore tight end Dalen Harper, who just bowls over green jerseys, walks right in for the score. Western reclaims the lead. It's 22-21 with 3 minutes remaining. But remember, this is Missouri Southern. Strange things happen. The Griffons going for 2 points, but Windmiller is hit. Now, this play should have been blown dead. It's not. The Lions scoop up the ball. They're going to try to run it back for 2 and take the lead. But D. Tolliver runs down the ball carrier and makes what could have been the game-saving tackle. Unbelievable effort play.
I don't even know what jumped up inside me to make me run that fast, but hey, I'm glad I was able to do it for my team.
Final minute, Southern with the ball at midfield facing 4th and 4. The Griffon defense needs to make a stop. Senior linebacker Steven Juergens, Western's leading tackler over the last 3 years. Well, this just sums up his career. Southern is stopped short. Western gets the ball. Juergens will remember that play forever. All the Griffons need to do is get one big first down to run out the clock. And this is an impressive way to do it. Spencer running possess, 31 totes, 145 yards on the ground. The junior running back moves up to 3rd on Missouri Western's all-time rushing list. That seals the final victory of 2014. Griffons survive for a 22-21 win. They close the season with a 7-4 record. A good year, but not really for Missouri Western standards. It's their fewest wins in a season in 6 years. Still a character-building victory to build on and a memorable way to send a very successful senior class out in style.
Last game of Missouri Western, I really had a lot of fun with all the guys. A lot of people stepped up and make big plays. It's it's a bittersweet moment. That's all it is.
You kind of learn a little bit of character. You know, it's kind of an adversity thing. You're not always going to be up, and you know, if they take anything out of the season, it's to keep fighting, keep playing no matter what, you know.
One thing I did learn, and I think the whole team learned, is that we can't take anything for granted, and we got to go out and compete every week.
It takes ridiculous
and sickening work ethic to be great. You know, you can't, you know, make excuses that, you know, yeah, you just got over surgery and so you couldn't really, you know, grind as hard as you could. But at the end of the day, it's about grinding for your teammates. It's about, you know, just competing. And once we get in the off season, it just needs to be about competing. You know what I'm saying? Complacency doesn't need to be a word that exists in our locker room, and we just got to grind hard this spring, this winter, and this summer.
It's time for the off season now. There's no days off in the off season. Just got to put it in and see what we can do to come back stronger and improve our record.
And joining us now, head coach Jerry Partridge. You heard it in the post-game interviews from your guys, and you saw it on the field. That was a big-time gut check, character-building performance for that team. That's got to make you feel good just going forward.
Well, the last 2 weeks have been difficult. You know, going into, you know, after the Northwest loss, it was difficult to, you know, just we're a spot there where I think everybody, our coaches especially, were like, are we going to get this done or not? You know, are we going to have a winning record? Are we going to rise up? At the time, Kearney was playing really good, and to go out and win 55-0 and then turn around the next week against a Southern team who has really been close to being better. I mean, they lost 2 overtime games, one to Central Oklahoma and one to Central Missouri, where they had chances to win those games. It could have been totally different. As you guys know, you've been there a lot of times. Missouri Southern's difficult. We've been there 4 out of the last 5 years. Typical Missouri Southern, Missouri Western game, especially, well, even here now. It's just the way it is. There's some crazy things you never think you're going to see, and we saw it. And really proud of our kids, really proud of our coaches, but especially proud of those kids. And then, you know, I watched the interview and just was, you know, just floored by the kind of caliber, kind of people we have on our football team.
Over the last 2 weeks, you've secured the 9th straight winning season. That's now 14 out of 15 winning seasons. And a couple more stats for you. I know we talked about this defense all year. They were huge on Saturday. They gave up 179 points. That's second fewest, only to the 93 team. And 2 shutouts this year. That's only happened 2 other times in school history, 1975 and 93. Reflect on those 2 items.
Well, like you said, 2 shutouts, that's huge, both at home, that's really big. And then 3 other games where we held them single digits. And so held a really good, potent Central Missouri offense to 9. It was a good year. I knew going into the game that if we held them to a field goal, we could break the record from 93. But it's difficult this day and age, and the offenses maybe that D coordinator from 1993 faced are definitely more prolific and fancy.
But that being said, that D coordinator was who?
Me.
Yes, it was you.
Yeah, there you go.
And now I want to ask you about that though too, because this was a great defensive year as we just talked about. But you said after Saturday that you want to go back to a 4-man front next year.
Yes. And I've talked about that with Coach Bell, and I think he's like that too. You feel a little bit naked only having 3 down linemen, and when you face people, sometimes it can really hammer it. You notice we got in a 4-man front, a 5-man front against a triple option a lot, and would love to have been in a 4-man front against Northwest 3 weeks ago. So, but it also created some situations where guys like Rezegi and Cody Lindsey made plays, and we got a little more athletic on the edge, and we've been on pass rush stuff, and we resulted in more sacks. And we've always had the 3-4 in our package. It's always been part of what we do, and
just never seen it.
Well, we do it long yardage. We did it back before you were actually here, Ryan. We got Eric McDowell.
I was here when Eric McDowell was here.
Eric McDowell was here too.
We would, well, he had, the hair was in a different spot.
Yeah.
But Eric McDowell, we'd prowl him around as a DN and get him off the line and let him drop. We did some things with him that way, and we're a lot more. That's what you really want, is have a guy who can go both back and forth like that.
We've talked defense. Let's talk offense. Skyler Windmiller's first year's in the book, and I don't know if it was his best game Saturday, but I tell you what, he made some good plays. He made some good throws. It was cold down there. Talk about his first year.
And you saw some flashes Saturday too that thinks this could be the guy. I mean, and we waited a long time to see that.
He's got a good demeanor. First of all, I think that's the first thing. I think he lets go of bad things quickly. He doesn't. The heart rate doesn't get up a whole lot. I like to see him be a little more athletic, but he does some good things running the ball. I thought he did a couple of times when he's running, and I could hear Joel going, "Get out of bounds." I'm like, no, and he
drop a shoulder.
Twice he did it and got first downs and was physical with it. And
the second time he did it, the defender was the one that walked away, woozy.
Right. Oh yeah, no question. And he threw the ball well. I mean, he threw some ball on time. Balls on timing that weren't quite done with the route at big moments. We were dropping like flies a little bit, tight end and receivers. I mean, you guys were down on the sidelines.
We were ready to go in.
Yeah, well, we needed you. I mean, it was going to be possible. So tight end wise, we lost Furbert early. Vandenberg gets a sprained ankle. Next, Stefan's cramping, Dee's cramping. We were down, and we were already down with Brandon Clark being out with a bruised leg. So I'm glad we didn't go to overtime because I don't know what we'd have done then. We'd have gotten that heavy jumbo stuff and just hammered it home with Dalen Harper.
Good final day of the year for Raphael Spencer. He moves into 3rd on the all-time rushing list, and looked like Raphael on Saturday, didn't he?
He's had a good year. I mean, he's he's had a first-team all-conference year, and he's a guy that I think he's down. He feels like he didn't have as good a year as last year because he didn't have the numbers, but it was different. It was just we didn't portray having more weapons than what we had the year before. We played better. We had kids that played at a higher level the year before, and that people really keyed on him early. And I think the passing game the last several weeks has really opened some things up for him. I think as Skyler gets better, I mean, last year there was always about a half man to a man waiting on the quarterback off the zone read, which freed Raphael up a lot. I thought Raphael played better this year. He ran hard. I think he played well, and he's deserving of being a first-team all-conference guy.
You lose 12 talented seniors, and we talked about this class just being solid, and not to take any away from that because you're going to miss a Steven Juergens, you're going to miss a John Schmiemeyer who did a great job, you're going to miss a Scott Groner who was a great punter for you for 4 years. But that being said, I think the bread and butter, and we all knew this coming in, was this junior class. There's a lot of talent coming back next year. We know what's coming back. That being said, what needs to be added to it?
Well, I think the pieces are there. I think that kids just got to step up and have good off seasons. I think that's where we lost 4 football games, and I don't know all 4 of them, maybe 2 of the 4, where we got to do the little things right. I don't know that we did the little things right all the time in our lives, in the classroom, in the weight room, on the indoor field as we're working out. There was just too many times missing things. People were missing things because of slight injuries, you name it, and we got to really be all in this off season, do a better job of it. And the receiving pieces are there. They got to play better. The O-line group, they're there. We're going to add some guys that are here already. D-line wise, there's some guys there that I think are going to be able to play. Linebacker wise, all throughout our system, there's people ready to play. That being said, I don't know that we'll turn down a great transfer at any category, really. So
any position, you mean? Any category?
Any position, category, you name it, whatever you want to put it.
Raphael made the comment in the post-game interview, which I thought, there needs to be no room for complacency in the locker room. Sometimes that's just, hearsay speak or whatnot. But do you think that was a little bit of an issue? Were there a little bit? This was a talented group that was recruited to a $15 million facility.
Right.
And then this is what we're seeing from it. They don't know what it was here 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And was there a little bit of that maybe they need to kind of relearn?
Sure. I think we were spoiled. I think and that was one of the things we talked about is we're Sunday, Monday, Tuesday preparing for Kearney. That we're spoiled. It was almost like, we could be 2-7. Are we going to compete or not? We're 5-4. Let's move on and play. And they did. They responded well. But I don't know. I don't know if complacency was the word, but hunger was lacking, I think, at times, which didn't make any sense to me. And very tough finish to last year's group, with that. And there's some kids that had won a lot of games and had competed really hard. And the last of the Baker boys, they like to call themselves, because they were the ones that were in Baker. And this group had never been in Baker. And I don't know, but I think there's an awakening that's happened, but we can't give it lip service and not act on it. We got to act on it and do it, and it's our job as coaches to make sure that happens.
Well, one thing that we won't be left brokenhearted, you will be, because this will be the last time in a while, but it's the final installment of Beasley's Tantalizing Trio, the football edition.
We had some pumpkin and spice.
I feel like we need
we're going to Apple now, aren't we? Yeah.
Well, no, it's holidays. It's cinnamon time.
Cinnamon.
Okay.
Yeah. Cinnamon. It's kind of cinnamon, and pumpkin never gets old. You still serve pumpkin pie Thanksgiving and Christmas and.
What was he talking about in the post-game interview out there in Joplin? There was something like that he was talking about. Yeah, there was something.
I don't know. I know if
chestnuts roasting.
If we cut out any food reference in GSI over the last 5 years that we've done the show, we wouldn't have a show. Yeah. Because that's all we talk about.
Tradition. There's a lot of traditions.
You
know what our soup is today? Beef stew.
Beef stew and cinnamon.
Beef stew is
great.
Soup. It's kind of that time of year. Coach P, we're all over the board today. I'd like to know and ask you, are the Kansas City Chiefs a Super Bowl team?
No.
No. Who's better in the AFC?
They're going to go.
They'll have to go through New England.
They beat by 100 earlier this year.
No, but it'll be different in Gillette Stadium.
Coach P,
I'm for them, but I don't think
I'm curious, because you would have a good handle on this. Will the Division II national champion come from this region?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, and I know you're up on all of your traditions, and we're a week early from this, but I'm curious. A good Thanksgiving tradition is the turducken that John Madden started, and now I think they've carried that over, but it's just not the same since he doesn't hand out the legs. You have 2 legs to hand out to Griffon football this year. I asked for 2 because I think I know who you'd give 1 to. Two players, could be offense, defense, could both be defense. Who are you giving your turduckens to this year?
Holy cow.
Oh, we've had this question before. You know why? Because I just watched it the other day from 2 years ago. Yes,
No,
I saw it.
I think he only had
2 years
one.
ago.
I'm giving him two now.
Like, so you're basically saying our
five
most valuable players.
Well, maybe, yeah, okay.
Steven Juergens.
Yeah, I knew
Not
that
my
would be,
favorite.
I knew that would be one.
The type
so
of,
that's
type of
why I
years
gave
they
him-
had.
that's
And
why I
honestly,
gave
it
him
probably is Mosaic Kennedy. I think he had a tremendous football season.
I like turducken.
I'm glad you. I'm spent on the food references, guys. I'm so glad.
I can't believe you don't get that. I don't understand.
No, I don't.
Well, it's usually tantalizing trio. That's,
Yeah.
that's a menu item.
Yes.
And with menu items, you have
Is this all gonna
specials.
be
You
edited?
have a soup of the day, and you have a
this is
dessert.
gone.
You have all of it. So that's why we have a soup of the day, a special, or a dessert.
Jerry Partridge. It was
been a pleasure.
a fun year.
Yeah.
We'll get back there next year and be back around our 9, 10, 11, 12 win seasons. That'd be okay.
I'd like to get to about 15.
15,
Yeah.
15 would
I'd like
be
to
good
get there.
too, and playing in Kansas City. But again, congratulations too on kind of keeping the ship righted, because there were some times I know that we saw some losses in some games where we thought, okay, this one could go
Right.
one way, and it didn't. And that's a tribute to the coaching staff and a tribute to your kids for circling.
No question. Yep.
That's Jerry Partridge. It's my favorite time of year at GSI. It's over now. You want to come back on every week and just co-host with Easley, or just do that?
I can't do all the
Who
technological
wants
stuff.
Okay. Well, I can deal with that behind the
Anytime you
camera.
want me to talk about basketball or whatever, I can come
Okay, we'll do that. We'll bring you and Jay and Bo on
Yeah.
to do that. So.
Oh, I'm in with Jay and Bo.
Yeah. So this has gone way too long. We'll be right back.
If change never happened, how would life take flight? How would our days unfold? At Heartland Health, we believe change can be beautiful. That's why we're changing our name to offer you even better care. Care that keeps up with the changes in your life and the moments that matter most. Heartland Health is becoming Mosaic Life Care. It's more than health care, it's life care. Visit us online to learn more.
Really excited about this team's ability to score the ball. We've got a great nucleus of new kids and a nice blend of returners. Alex Saxon and Kirsten Crawford, Tierra Hall coming back out of that senior bunch. We brought in 2 freshmen from Arkansas. Both will see considerable playing time. And then our transfer kids from the junior colleges, we had 3 All-Americans. All 3 of them are going to be impact players. You know, some names you're going to hear quite often are LaQuinta Jefferson. You know, coming out of high school, she was rated number 64 player in the country. It's signed with Kentucky. And so we're very fortunate to have her here. She's a high caliber, high level player. Serafina Handy's probably one of the best shooters I've been around. Mariah Jordan, impact post player inside that's very physical, can finish and play around the rim. And then we have Ari Novak coming back from ACL injury that's really progressed nicely and is coming back a very positive way. There you go! You know, what I want to see is that we're getting better every game. We've crossed the threshold of being competitive, and the next step is winning games. I have a number in my mind, so at the end of the season, I'll let you know if we hit that number. But we're hoping for significant improvement.
Welcome back. Missouri Western women's basketball opens the home portion of their schedule this Thursday night in the Fieldhouse. Rob Edmison's team sits 1-1 on the early season. They had a busy opening week.
Yeah, 3 games last week. Only 2 of them counted. The Griffins fell 78-75 in exhibition play at the University of Missouri last Tuesday in Columbia. They then went 1-1 in the Quincy, Illinois tournament. They beat Robert Morris 110-49 last Friday and fell to host school Quincy 77-70 on Saturday. This team struggled to score last year, not this year. They've been paced by transfer LaQuinta Jefferson. She's averaging 20 points per game, including a 40-point effort in the exhibition loss at Mizzou. The new look Griffins will be on display this Thursday in the Fieldhouse. They host Rockhurst at 7 p.m. The Griffin men come home this weekend in the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic. They host Rockhurst Friday night at 7 o'clock and take on William Jewell Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Another good field, and always look forward to that weekend. The Griffins took on Oklahoma State in their lone exhibition game 2 weeks ago. A 74-35 loss to the Cowboys in Stillwater. Here's voice of the Griffins, Dave Riggert, with Coach Weiberg.
All right, thanks, guys. And Coach, you opened up an exhibition season a couple of weeks ago against Oklahoma State. You opened up the regular season this week. Go back to Stillwater, and Oklahoma State was a big part of your family growing up. Your brother was in the tragedy that happened in 2001. How was it going back there? Was it neat to go back there and just kind of reminisce and have some good old memories?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that I went to high school. My dad actually worked there for a while, so yeah, there's a lot of memories actually, and it's funny how times have changed. I'll try to make a long story short. On when it was warm enough, and it didn't even have to be that warm, but when I knew they were practicing, right after my school got out, my mom would let me ride my bike across the busiest town in Stillwater to the grade school, and then from the grade school I would ride down Washington Avenue straight to Gallagher-Iba, and Coach Hansen, his name's Paul Hansen, which was a great man, he would let me shoot while practice was going, as long as when he stopped and taught, I better go grab that ball fast and, hold it in my, so I remember the old Gallagher-Iba arena, and then obviously when my brother was there, my younger brother, my older brother worked there in the athletic department for a long time. My younger brother was there, and when my younger brother was there, that's when they took the roof off and expanded it and made it what it is today. And so I spent a lot of time myself in that building from the time I was in grade school and then on through watching them play and watching Coach Sutton's teams, and then spending time there with both my brothers. And so, yeah, it was nice to go back. Like I said, mostly it's good memories, and obviously the tragedy is always something you think about a little bit every day.
Now, your team gets set to open up the season this weekend. Talk about your expectations for this weekend. What do you expect from your team?
Well, I expect us to play hard. I expect us to be better than we were 2 weeks ago at Oklahoma State. I think we're going to play some guys, and so we're going to have our rotation's not 100% set yet. I think that's going to evolve over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and we have a pretty good idea of the rotation, who's in it, but not so much as how many minutes people are going to be playing yet. And so, but I like our guys. Our strength in numbers is at the guard spot. So we're going to play some guys. We're going to play hard, pick people up a little bit earlier this year, and try to certainly be better defensively.
Do you like where you're at right now this early in the season?
I do. And we compete every day in practice. We play hard. We're certainly further along defensively. That doesn't mean we're great by any means yet at all, but we're further along. We're going to be young at spots, and so there's a lot of growth yet to take place, but I look forward to it, and I've enjoyed working with these guys.
Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
That's Brett Weiberg, the men's basketball coach of Missouri Western. They open up this weekend. Back to you guys.
Griffon Volleyball wrapped up its historic 2014 campaign last week, and what a season it was. Their 22-8 record, the most wins since 1998. Their 16-6 MIAA record, the most conference wins in school history. Into the line for 4 talented seniors, Sarah Fauble, Erica Rottinghouse, Amanda Boonder, and Kelly Scannell. All have had heavy hands in rebuilding the program to what it is today.
When we came in together, we just quickly bonded. We all have really good chemistry, so that helped us to get better and to really stick together through the hard stuff.
When we were freshmen, first got here for preseason, that Corey, our old coach, and Marion would both say to us that we knew that we wanted to recruit you guys so that we could build a legacy, and it starts right here, and you can be a part of that program and to do that. So it's so crazy to think about now that how that's actually come true with all of our hard work and everyone believing in each other. So it feels so sweet for that to actually happen and to be a part of it.
We have something special that I feel like all the other teams previously didn't have. Like that extra just like want to get where we want to go. And it finally showed up in this last season.
I never really did expect like this outcome coming here, but I don't know. All of these girls are a great group of girls, so I mean, looking at the girls and how we all play together, it's definitely, I can definitely see that now. Like we deserve this, and we deserve the record that we have this year.
And joining us now, head coach Marion Carbon. Talk to those 4 seniors, and boy, they really did play a part in this turnaround. How special was that group?
Yeah, I mean, they've been a lot to the program. We kind of talked about, you know, when we win a conference championship, when, not if, when we win a conference championship, those 4 need to come back and be in our gym to experience it with us, because they're a big part of this program's progress over the last 4 years. You know, increasing the talent level, their desire to be here and be a part of our program. They love being Griffins, and you know, it's good for our young players to see that, to see how hard they work, to see how talented they are, and yet still hungry to get better and improve and make improvements for the program.
Marrying into the season, it's time to reflect. 22 wins, which is the most since '98. 16 league wins, which is the most ever. You got this question earlier. Did you think this team was capable of this? Was this what you expected when the year started?
Yeah, I think we knew we were capable of 22. I mean, last year I think we knew we were capable of 20-win season. We have been for the last few years. We've been talented enough. And I think finally we're experienced enough. We've learned how to win together. This group of juniors and seniors knows how to play together. They're really close. We've talked about chemistry a lot with this group, and it finally just fell together for us. You know, obviously the 16 conference wins, we play more conference games, so that helps drive that number just a little bit. But yeah, it's something we have a lot to be proud of this year, and we made some progress, and you know, we're not in the regional tournament like we'd like to be, but you know, I think the progress we've made is something we can be proud of and that the girls can be proud of too.
How disappointing is not making the regional tournament? Because I know that was a goal, that was a very realistic goal. But that being said, this is a very, very tough conference, a very tough region where obviously 22-8 does not get you in the NCAA tournament. Still, that can't.
Well, it does if.
I
can't say it.
You can go there. Central Missouri.
It does if you're named Central Missouri, yeah, and your 8 losses didn't come in the region. All 8 of ours were in region losses.
That makes it sting a little bit more.
And 5 of theirs weren't, and so that's tough when you know you say, well, 22 is not enough, but it was for them and just not for us. So in that respect, it's really disappointing, and to see Washburn make it when we took 2 wins from them too. So just in a lot of ways, it's tough. But I told the girls, you know, on Friday, when we had to watch Central win their conference championship and get their trophy and get cupcakes and all the fun things that come with conference championships, and the girls were like, that's ours. And I told them they have to earn it. And we didn't earn it this year. You know, we were good enough, and we put ourselves in a position to do it, and we just didn't close it out. And so when we do, it'll mean all the more, because nobody's going to give you a conference championship. It's not going to fall into your lap. You're going to have to go earn it, and when we do, it'll mean all the more.
Angry Marion Carbon on GSI.
You could have brought us cupcakes to smooth that over a little bit.
That's pretty much the theme every time I'm on, Ryan.
That's true. That's true.
Marion, we heard from your seniors up top, and what a great class they are. But you got a good nucleus coming back. You've got some young players coming back who saw a little time this year. With those players, knowing what you have to come back, what do you need to replace? What do you need to bring in? I know you've mentioned depth at times. What are you looking for in the offseason to reload and get this team back to hopefully a chance to make the tournament next year?
Sure. Well, this is a hard class to replace. I mean, you have a lot of kills in Erica Ridinghouse and Amanda Boonder to replace right away. So we're going to try to add some depth. I think we've got some young talent that we're developing. We think will come along. But we're going to add depth. You've got to add more than just a class to replace the class you're losing. And so we're going to go try to recruit some junior college transfers and try to get just a little bit deeper at the key positions. I thought we had 2 really great outsides this year. I know we have 2 great outsides this year. And, you know, we just had a talented offense, but we have to have players behind them that on nights that we struggle, we can get some production from our bench too.
Well, the thing you won't struggle with, it's another edition of Easley's Tantalizing Trio. I know how much you like this a couple weeks ago, so we brought it back. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, maybe related to volleyball, may not, and you're going to tell me basically an answer that pops in your head, and I know you'll have good answers. And by the way, our dessert, cinnamon cupcakes. We've moved on from pumpkin. It's the holiday season. Cinnamon is a key part of holiday tradition, so cinnamon cupcakes.
Great.
I like cinnamon.
Awesome.
From wherever.
Oh, okay.
Homemade?
I don't bake.
Okay, well that's okay. Store-bought.
Okay.
Marion, let's go this route first. Probably the last time we're going to talk to you before the holiday season really gets underway. Do you have a holiday tradition? I mean, do you sip eggnog in a toboggan out back, or what is your? Do you have a holiday tradition?
Man,
you sip eggnog.
I think a lot of holiday traditions come when you start having children. Since Greg and I don't have any yet, we haven't really maybe developed our own holiday traditions just yet. Growing up, my family had a large extended family, so we would always get together with a large extended family. But our one tradition was Thanksgiving. We would wake up and go to Mass, even though it's not a traditional Catholic Mass holiday. Our family always would go to Mass on Thanksgiving, and then we would go out to breakfast after that.
Okay, I'm going to ask another loaded question.
Denny's, Bob Evans?
Shoney's.
Shoney's.
Do you remember Shoney's? I love. They have cheese sauce you can put over your scrambled eggs. That was my favorite.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's go there along those lines because I'm curious, and these segments are to get to know Marion Carbon. Thanksgiving is coming up. Do you cook? And if so, what is the specialty? What is your go-to dish?
I haven't cooked a Thanksgiving feast yet. If I did, my go-to would be macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese.
Breadcrumbs on the top of that, baked, really crusty cheese.
No, creamy macaroni and cheese.
With this segment?
No, we're not. I'm getting to the nuts and bolts right here.
Finally, I don't mind food questions; those are easy.
Well, finally, I'm going to ask you what might be a hard question because I hope there was a lot of them. Favorite moment of the year, season-wise? You have a favorite moment, one that just sticks out?
Sweeping Washburn at home that first weekend after we had a tough loss to Central that Tuesday, and then had swept Emporia the night before. To sweep them and to just kind of do it in dominating fashion was really fun for our girls. It was kind of our aha, we've arrived moment, and now we've proven it. Now we've proven that we're good enough to compete with the big dogs, and so that was probably my best moment.
Finish this statement real quick. Missouri Western takes the next logical step in 2015 and makes the regional if.
That's a really much harder question.
I was going to ask that one too.
I figured like we'd add a little substance to the
Menley's
style.
Mensa questions or something?
Yes, Mensa, yes. Menley's Minerva.
Let's see. If we can replace our talent that we're going to lose. So if we have a really good off season, and just kind of develop the players that we've got and replace them, like I said, with some talented junior college players. That's going to be the key to us is replacing those kills that we're going to lose.
Well, I know you don't like to use the term great, so I won't.
Okay.
Congratulations on a really good year.
Really good year. 22-8.
Absolutely.
Very proud.
Most wins since 1998. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, congratulations.
Thanks for having me again.
We'll do it again next year.
Sounds good.
That's Marion Carbon, head coach of the volleyball Griffins. We'll be right back.
If change never happened, how would life take flight? How would our days unfold? At Heartland Health, we believe change can be beautiful. That's why we're changing our name to offer you even better care. Care that keeps up with the changes in your life and the moments that matter most. Heartland Health is becoming Mosaic Life Care. It's more than health care, it's life care. Visit us online to learn more.
Just in case you missed it this past weekend, Legatron does it again. Griffin alum Greg Zuerlein helped the St. Louis Rams shoot down and shock the Denver Broncos Sunday. Zuerlein went 5 for 5 on field goals, including a 55-yarder and a 53-yarder in the Rams' 22-7 victory. Zuerlein is 15 of 18 on the season. That's an 83% field goal clip. It's a contract year for him. I have a feeling he's going to make more money in his next contract. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, he's going to kick a long time, probably longer than you and I's lifespan.
Probably, yes.
Hey, speaking of doing well, how about Griffin alum Bryce Garnett? You saw him in here in the studio about a month ago. Well, he just played in the Mayakoba Classic and had his career best finish, tied for 6th place. Again, that's in Playa del Carmen, Cancun. Weather was a little better there, but again, good field down there early in the PGA year. You know what? He's off to a great start once again.
Cancun,
let's go.
Rough life. We wrap up, but it's tip-off week for basketball at home. You got the Griffin women at the Fieldhouse Thursday night, 7 o'clock versus Rockhurst. Then the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic. The men are in action for that. Friday night versus Rockhurst.
The Fave Rockhurst.
Yes, 7 o'clock. Saturday night against William Jewell, 7 o'clock.
Well, and you know what? Always some good things involved with the Hilliard Classic. And Saturday morning, boys in grades 2 through 6 come out to the Fieldhouse for a free clinic. Are you boys, grade 2 through 6?
Probably too old to get out there.
You could probably stretch your stuff. But boys in grades 2 through 6, free clinic Saturday morning in the Fieldhouse. 10 a.m. to noon, free T-shirt for the first 150 and a game ticket to that night's games. Looks like a good weekend to get out and do that.
Basketball is here.
It's here.
Ready or not.
See you in the Fieldhouse, wearing gold. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Griffs!